copies. 80 copies and submit them to everybody that's involved in this case. But not only the people, that's the families that are involved in this case, but all the AG's office, all the way to the top, even the governor. So basically what it says is Pioneer Milk Company LLC plaintiff versus Mahina Hina, Helena, also known as Helena, and there's over, I would say, 80 plus names inside here. And it opens up to say that the defendant Foster Ampong's motion to dismiss complaint pursuant to HRCP 12B1 comes now the defendant Foster Ampong. Hereinafter, Ampong in pro se makes the following motion to dismiss complaint for lack of subject matter jurisdiction, which can be raised at any time throughout the pursuant to Tamashiro versus State of Hawaii. And as I said, you know, the clarity based upon the settlement agreement is Hawaii Rules of Civil Procedure to dismiss complaint for want of subject matter jurisdiction, in that the suit would manifest require the court to act outside the constitutional limitations of its judicial power and unlawfully intrude upon and in effect seize political control over two executive agreements entered into between President Grover Cleveland and the United States and Queen Liliuokalani of the Kingdom of Hawaii. The first agreement is Liliuokalani assigned January 17, 1893 that mandates the President to administer Hawaiian Kingdom law, and the second is the Agreement of Restoration, December 18, 1893, that mandates the President to restore the Kingdom of Hawaii, the Hawaiian Kingdom government, and the Queen thereafter to grant amnesty to the insurgents. As is more fully shown in Ampong's brief in support of this dismissal motion, the complaint attempts to have the court act outside the confines of the judicial power and fails to give rise to any claim or issue over which the court could constitutionally exercise subject matter jurisdiction without violating supremacy clause, in particular the 1893 Executive Agreement and the precedent set in U.S. versus Belmont, 301 U.S. 324, 1937, U.S. versus Pink. So he names all these pursuing cases, that had happened in the past, which basically escalated that the courts was binded to make decisions based upon the executive agreement. And all the information that he placed inside here was exhibits from that time on all these prior cases that came about. So this is going to be one good case that it's really gonna turn some heads, and it's gonna turn the judicial system, hopefully tie the judicial system's hands. And I'm really supportive of this case coming up around the corner, and I'm gonna be there 100% of the time. I entered in this case only because I wanted to find out whether or not there was an ancestor in there. There was a possible relationship to me on a court case that I fought with Pioneer Mill back in 2001. So I entered the case to see whether or not this was the same heir, but apparently it wasn't. So I decided to pull out of the case and support Mr. Ampong 100% of the time, instead of doing a unilateral kind of beef from the outside. Hopefully that, when the case gets prepared, that he names me one of the witnesses, then I'll go in and try to do my best to help him out.
If anybody would like to know any more about your information and what you put out, is there any way they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can call me or you can email me. It's real easy, keamokukapu@yahoo.com, KEEAUMOKUKAPU@yahoo.com. Email me, Then what I can do is forward your email to the man himself, and if he has this on PDF file, you know, I'm pretty sure what we're trying to do is get the word out there. Hopefully we can get a lot of people to attend the court when they come. On the 31st there's one, and that's a preliminary trial, so that one's not the important one. I think February 12th is the one that we're trying to get the word out there. Hopefully a lot of people, you know, can learn what this executive agreement is all about, to come down and support what we're doing, because like I said, you know, this is the first quiet title that Mr. Ampong is using the executive agreement in, and hopefully, you know, we can get somewhere. So that's my email, and you know, anybody like Valahau, 250-1479.
In this day and age of progress and change, we as a people must progress as well. But in doing so, we cannot, under any circumstance, forget our culture, our language, and our history. Mahava ino ko kako kuleata. Aloha.
Na pua o Hawaii, kupa ama hope o kaina, iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino, pala pala anunu me ka pa.
Kamana'o o ka wahine mo I Lili ua kalani. Back in 1893, who can these people be?